Well, you know, video game tie-ins with movies have always been kind of a struggle. The pressure to get the game done in time for the movie's release often leads to lackluster results, and there's no better example of this than the movie games for the NES. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and click on the links in the description to vote on upcoming content. Yes, we often hail it as the console that saved the industry, but there were plenty of titles that were kind of weird and didn't look good. Which leads us to the ear-piercing, stair-climbing, misspelled mess that is... As we said, the Nintendo Entertainment System fell victim to a lot of disastrous movie titles. We kinda see why, too. The NES was the new successful kid on the block, but it was also being showcased after the video game crash. Developers were trying to figure out what kind of gaming experience the general public wanted, especially after the previous burnout from video games. So why not turn to other successful forms of entertainment? This actually isn't a bad idea, especially if it's a movie with heart-pounding action and cool characters that the gamers would want to become. It just sort of needs to be executed well. Hence the problem, and Ghostbusters is the worst offender of all. Not just as a movie tie-in, but as a video game in general. Let's start with the music. This music, which never changes! There is more than one music track in the movie, so why is there only one in the game? Could we at least get a different track for when you're on the map? Maybe something different for the shop? Maybe an actual shop you walk into and not a blown up image of a car? Even the shittiest games give us a different chiptune beat every so often. Or if it was the same track, it would just, stop, only to be replayed again. I mean, if you're gonna loop it, at least do a seamless loop, not a push replay on the music track loop. Moving on to the visuals, are these locations supposed to represent set pieces from the movie? Because it's hard to tell the copy-pasted roads apart, and the buildings, well, let's just say New York has never looked so uninspired. Oh wait, we see it now. Each building is labeled to tell you what it is. Look how much detail they put into the headquarters. A lot of work went into that green font, you know? Before you even start the game, you're greeted to that nails-on-a-chalkboard bastardization of the original theme, which, as we've already mentioned, will definitely get on your nerves since it's the only track in the frickin' game. Then the game starts and, well, it's hard to tell what you're supposed to do. So, we're gonna try our best explanation. Get this, stairs. This entire game is about stairs. Let me explain. Basically, the game is on a timer, and once the ever-increasing PK energy level gets high enough, you need to go straight to the Zool building and the end of the game. Everything leading up to that is about trying to get as well equipped as possible in order to survive these bullshit stairs. In the 1984 film, the stairs were a gag. A great moment that reminds us that the gang is basically a bunch of out-of-shape nerds hauling around ghost-catching gear.
It looks like we're in the teens somewhere.
Okay. But when we get to 20, tell me. I'm gonna throw up.
But in the video game, the stairs are like everything. Let me elaborate. The game is split into several different scenes, actually. The world map, which is basically a glorified menu screen, and then you move the Ghostbusters logo around to pick where you want to visit. Keep in mind that the icon isn't your team, it's basically just a cursor. And occasionally when you pass near a building, it will light up, indicating that it's time to go catch some ghosts there. Then you actually drive to the destinations in the trusty Ecto-1, avoiding traffic and possibly collecting ghosts if you have the right equipment, and hitting barrels of gas to keep yourself topped up, because that's how it works. Run out of gas and do the boys actually have to get out and push. Fun stuff. The actual ghost-busting missions are short, with the player controlling 2 Ghostbusters trying to round up the 4 ghosts that are on screen. The more you capture, the more money you get. Capture multiple ghosts in a single trap, and you make exponentially more. But time is short, the ghosts often refuse to be involved in the fun, and of course crossing the streams means that the mission is an instant failure. The money you collect here is used to buy equipment, half of which makes collecting ghosts kind of easier. But the real point of the shop, however, is to outfit your crew with the gear they will need to get past the staircase and beat the game. And these stairs, well, again, this is the real reason that this is the worst game of its entire console generation. The team of 3 Ghostbusters, yes, 3 because f*** you, Winston, moves in unison, making a big, slow-moving target that can't fight back against ghosts. What, did you think you'd actually be able to defend yourself against ghosts? You're Ghostbusters, not ghost shooters, and I don't know, man. I can't even make a good joke here. This leads us to a bizarre, possibly the most bizarre design decision ever made in a video game. To move around this section, you don't simply press the arrow buttons down to move left and right. Oh no. You need to mash the A button as fast as you can to try to make the team slowly inch forward. And when we say mash that button, we really frickin' mean it. Trying to keep from getting hit by ghosts while inching forward is basically impossible. Hence why you need to earn so much money to get as kitted out as possible to make your life even a little bit easier. Let's be honest, most of it revolves around traveling from point A to B, so it's basically a glorified travel simulator. Because nothing says, I ain't afraid of no ghosts like driving and walking up a flight of stairs, am I right? The actual ghost catching is a bare minimum of your adventure here, when it should be the main selling point. So, congratulations, Ghostbusters, you are the worst licensed game in the NES library. Thanks for watching MojoPlays. Be sure to subscribe and click on the link in the description below to check out our suggestion page and vote on what content you'd like to see us cover next.